Don't forget to like, follow, subscribe, and turn on notifications so that you will receive alerts when there are new episodes. Go get it.
Yeah. Listen, success is whatever you make it. If you want to be happy, you want to provide for your family.
Live.
You gotta put that work in, man. You gotta go get
Learn.
it. See, listen, this is what I tell them.
Serve.
I've been grinding for so long, I wake up and chase my goals. I go
Inspire.
out and I go get it. How to go,
You're in the
that's
right
all I know.
place.
I don't
You're
succeed
checking
if I
out
don't breathe.
Chip
Success,
Baker,
what does it
the
mean?
Success
If I
Chronicle.
conquer all my goals, then I'm living out my dream. Dig deep, go out and get it. Success Chronicles. Compete until it's finished. Success Chronicles.
Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Chip Baker, and today we have Coach Rice with us. Coach Rice currently works at George Washington University, and he's the Associate Director of Multicultural Student Services. He's an educator, a coach, a speaker that helps students, athletes, and coaches transition from learners to leaders to champions. And that's his thing. That's what he does. As you can see, I don't know. I don't know if the camera switched over to him yet. But as I say that, he's just smiling like, yeah, that's me. Yeah, But thanks a lot, Coach, for interviewing with the Success Chronicles today. We really appreciate you taking your time.
Hey, Chip, thank you so much. It's an honor and pleasure to just meet with you and chop it up with you just about life and whatever we end up talking about, man. So I'm honored and I'm honored to be here. So thank you so much.
All right. First of all, talk to us about your life story. We talked before we started the interview about some things, and just I think it's an interesting story. So if you don't mind, just tell them where you're from, tell them about your life and all of that stuff.
Born and raised in Toledo, Ohio, also known as the Glass City. At one point, I believe we were the glass capital of the world. If you ever have a chance to look at, maybe if you got glasses around the house, just take them and look up under the bottom. If it says Libby Glass, that means that it was made in my hometown of Toledo, Ohio.
Okay.
I am a second generation college student. I'm the youngest of two children. My sister is a few years older than me. My parents were college sweethearts. They both went to Alabama A&M. And actually, in my immediate family, my mother, father, sister, and myself all went to HBCUs. That was it wasn't by force. It was something we were drawn to. But raised in a very, very, very close-knit family in Toledo, Ohio. All of my people, my grandparents, they're all from Huntsville, Alabama. All of my roots, they trace right back to Huntsville, Alabama. So the original Great Migration from the South to the Midwest, just depending on what region of the country you're in. We were raised in the Midwest, but with Southern values. And so I remember running errands with my father, and I used to see him just speak to strangers. I'm like, Dad, do you know him? He was like, no. He said, that's just another brother. And so growing up in the Midwest, that was just something, that was a
That's
behavior
what you do.
I just picked up. You speak to people. Hey,
you do that
how's
in
it
the
going?
South. You speak.
Yeah, it's what you do.
Yeah.
And so my mother and father, both were educators at one point. And then my father, he taught math. He taught middle school math. And my mom taught special ed, language arts. And my mom stayed in education. My dad ended up going into sales. But, again, sales is teaching as well. And so growing up a pretty big family, one thing that we did, and I'm saying my extended family, my father's parents and my dad's sister and her kids, all of my cousins, I do not remember a time from my childhood when we did not eat dinner. We didn't all eat dinner together one day a week. So that was my grandmother and grandfather, my dad, mom, sister, myself, my aunt, my uncle, and my three cousins. And what my grandmother would do is she'd make a meal, and like it's a big meal. So some weeks it might be chicken, some weeks it might be beef or whatever. But that's one thing I remember from my childhood is always one day a week we ate meals together. One day a week, summer, winter, spring, fall, it didn't matter. Now, if something happened in the summer where one of us were playing sports during the week, we might eat dinner on Wednesdays. Some other times we might eat on Thursdays. So just growing up as the baby boy, I was the first boy. I was the only boy grandchild for about 8 years, and then my cousin came along, and he ended up being the next baby boy. But always around sports because my grandfather was a baseball coach, and really we were just kind of a sports fanatic family. Every last one of us did some sort of sport, and the balance to it. Me, my sister, and all of my cousins, we all did sports, but we all took piano too, or music, or something artistic. And I remember summers, man. People talk about Oprah's original book club. Actually, my mom and her friends and my aunts from the neighborhood, they were before Oprah's book club. And one of the things they would do is they would take all of us to the library all the time in the summer. Like we go to camps and stuff, but one thing we did, we went through that library every single summer. So growing up around educators, man, it's just something that's in my blood. So went to Morehouse College, graduated with a bachelor's in psychology. And as God would have it, I went back to my hometown, started teaching middle school math and science, started coaching basketball, and just fell in love with it. And I've never really let it go. I've always worked with young people for the past almost 20 years now. My career has been related to working and serving young people.
Tell us that bungee analogy. I think they need to hear that.
Me and my family moved out to the Washington, D.C. area in December of 2005. And so when I got out here, the cost of living from Ohio to the D.C. area is much different.
Yeah. Different.
So I said, well, hey, let me kind of maybe branch out and try to do some things. And so what I did was I said, I applied different places. Applied some different places, and some of the interviews worked out, some didn't, and so ultimately I tried to run from being an educator. I was running. I said, okay, well, let me try to work at this place and this place, temp jobs, and I'm running, I'm trying to run from being an educator, and God just put me on a bungee cord. I'm running. He's like, okay, go ahead, you keep on running. When you get tired, I'm snap you, put you right back where you're supposed to be. And so literally I really tried to run from being an educator. I worked at a couple of nonprofit associations and organizations, but it just wasn't the right fit because I wasn't around young people enough. I was around adults, and not that I don't like adults, but I really, that's really my ministry. That's my passion, is working with young people. And so as I tried to run long and hard, and sure enough, boom, bungee cord got me. Ended up coming to Planet GW, and here I am, man. And the rest is, as they say, is history. So yes. I really love being around young people, and counseling young people, mentoring young people. And most people don't know I'm 199 years old, but being around young people, I just don't look my age, man.
They keep you young.
Yes, sir.
For sure. You talked about a lot of good stuff in there. Values, family values, educators. A lot of those things I can relate to, because it's the same thing, similar things I went through, with my family, and it's good stuff to be around good people. Off air, we talked about, you said you go places and, your father would, speak or whatever, do you know them? Like, no, that's what you do, in the South, we do that. And, people would see them, as educators, your parents make a difference when you can go places and people see them. Your parents don't even see them, but the people see your parents and they just smile.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's what it's about, making that positive difference. And really, just like you said, like, that's why I do it, because like, man, the difference that we have and the positive difference that we can make in those lives is amazing.
Absolutely. One thing my sister she didn't say this until we were grown, but I'm pretty sure my grandmother told her this. She says, my grandmother, of course, everybody grandmother is very spiritual. Most people's grandmothers, Southern grandmothers are real spiritual.
Oh yeah. Amen,
She used to
honey.
say, yeah, she used to say, you understand? So she used to say, just, if you don't know somebody, just be careful of how you greet them and speak to them. She says, you never know. You could be entertaining angels and you have no idea. And you just never know that nod, that vote of confidence
That
can
smile.
literally, can make somebody's day. I know countless young people I work with from all types of backgrounds. Some of them, they played sports. Parents never came to one single game. And there are times, of course, there were these young people that they would have a home to go to, but nobody really acknowledged their presence. And so to be affirmed and be reaffirmed at school, school becomes their home by default. And so I know just by virtue of being raised by parents with Southern values, it's really helped me to understand life, be more humble, be more accepting of people from all walks of life. But it's really allowed me to learn, which we both talked about that we have in common. Both I love to learn. I love to learn about people's culture. Like, hey, where did
Yeah,
you grow up? And,
that's it.
what do y'all call a carbonated beverage? Y'all call it a soda or a pop? Or do you
Pop.
call it a
Yeah.
cold drink? What do you call it?
A Coke.
And so, yeah, a Coke. Yeah, exactly. So, I think that was, as I think about my childhood, I'm so grateful that I was raised by extroverted parents that exposed us, that they wanted to expose us to so many things, man. And I have no doubt in my mind, I don't care how much schooling that I've had or training that I've had, that particular experience has helped me grow as a professional, because it's helped me be more of a listener. And people don't understand the most important part of being a communicator is listening. And I always hear that from my students, man. Coach, you have a lot of wisdom, but you listen. You're a really great listener. I said, well, how do you think I got all the wisdom?
It's all piled in there.
Yes, sir.
So, what are three things you've accomplished that you're proud of, Coach?
Wow. Three things that I've accomplished that I'm proud of. You know what? I don't know if this counts as two, being a husband and a father.
We could go one so we can get some more. You can go.
Would that count as one?
Yeah, that's one.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, that's one. I would say definitely. I would say my master's degree was something I was really proud of, because it was something that I put off. And my kids were really small when I went back to school.
It was hard.
I sacrificed a lot of time with them. But I actually have a picture with them after I got the degree. But I was like, wow, what a way to model the way for my kids. They see dad went back to school. What's funny is that it's almost like history repeated itself, because my mother went back to school when I was in middle school. And I remember days my mom was working full time, going to school part time, and I just remember
class. Hey.
And so I was like, it's kind of like, and it wasn't until just now I just thought about it. History kind of repeated itself. So that's number two. I think number three was building relationships with every last one of my players, and winning and losing with my players. I mean, I won countless championships, but I think